Okay, welcome back to social science class, and this class is basic lesson for history. Okay, hope you all keeping well, right? Is Devasena? Devasena is shaking her head. Yeah, this is history class. So she's very happy to attend the class, I think so. Devasena, are you? Are you happy there? Miss Devasena? Hello? Hello, hello? Hello's connection, I think. Okay, fine. So in the last class, we discussed about the conservatives and the new middle class. Conservatives and the new middle class. Okay. After the discussion on the Napoleon's administrative changes, okay, the Napoleon administrative changes is known as, Angelo, Napoleon's administrative changes in France is known as, what is that? Angela is searching there. What is that, Eva George? Eva George, no, don't know. What is that? No idea about that. Okay. What is that, Revu? The administrative changes that made by Napoleon in Europe and France is basically known as dash. Sania? What is the answer, Sania? No answers? Sowell Jason?
Yes, sir.
Tell me, what is the answer? I like your smile, Mr. Sowell Jason, but I don't want the smile now. I want the answer. Come on fast. What is that? Shweda of 10B. What is the answer? The administrative changes that made by Napoleon Bonaparte in France and Europe in the year 1804 is known as dash. What is the answer? Karthik?
Napoleonic or Civil Code of 1804.
Napoleonic Code or the Civil Code of 1804. Okay, that's the correct answer. Napoleonic Code or the Civil Code of 1804. So, Gary, tell me, what are those changes? What are the changes that made by Napoleon? Tell me.
They abolished privileges based on the birth and established equality.
Okay, he abolished the privileges based on birth and maintained equality in the society. Then,
Secure right to the property.
secure right to property for everyone. Then
Exported to the regions under French control.
What is that? What changes he made? I am asking that. So he exported these changes to the places under the French control. Okay, fine. Accepted that. But what are those changes? We told you two of them. Balance.
Abolished feudal system.
Abolished the feudal system. Then
Simplified
uniform weight and measures. Yeah. Uniform weight and measures. Okay, these are the basic changes that made by Napoleon Bonaparte. And he exported these changes to the countries under the French control, right? Under the French control. Okay, now two different words are there for us. One is conservatives, the other word is the new middle class or the liberals. New middle class or the liberals. So, conservatives are the people basically, they are supporting or they supported the rule of the king. The rule of the king there, right? Sometimes I will use the present tense, but we are writing the answers. While we are writing the answers, so should not use any present tense there, right? Okay, remember that. Okay. So for understanding, sometimes we'll use the present tense, but while writing the answers, there is no possibility. You should not. Okay, so remember, so basically these people, the aristocrats, okay, or the conservatives, they like the rule of the king. The aristocrats, they like, or the conservatives, they like the rule of the king, and the middle class or the liberals, they are against the rule of the king. Clear? They want a democratic type of government. So this conflict between the conservatives and liberals, or the ruling class and the new middle class, that led to the French Revolution basically. Clear? So the new middle class, they become rich, they are educated, and they started thinking about a liberal democratic government. Understand? And they set up number of Jacobin clubs. Clear? To think about a change in France. What type of France? They don't want despotism, they don't want monarchy, they want democratic government. Okay, back to the textbook, everyone. Sorry. Okay, you can see here. Here, page number 9. In your textbook, what is that? Page number?
9.
9 only, right? Okay. So what did, tell me. What's your query?
Nothing, sir, nothing.
Okay. Sorry. Here it is. What did liberal nationalism stand for? I already told you that the new middle class, basically they are trying to establish a democratical government on the basis of liberal nationalism, right? Clear or not? Okay, so the question for us, what did this liberal nationalism stand for? Okay, ideas of national unity in early 19th century Europe were closely allied to the ideology of liberalism. Clear? So, all these middle class people or newly emerged middle class, they want to create a new democratic setup on the basis of liberalism. Okay, basically that started in the early 19th century. Such kind of activities for new government is closely related to the term liberalism. Clear? That is derives from the Latin root liber, underline. The word liberalism is derived from the Latin word liber. Meaning of the term, it is free. What is the meaning of the term liber? Free. For the new middle classes, liberalism stood for freedom for the individual and equality of all before law. Underline that too. So, liberalism means nothing but, okay, it stood for freedom for the individual and equality of all before law. Okay, liberalism. So the liberalism means nothing but, okay, it is standing or stood for freedom. Okay, what kind of freedom? Individual freedom. Okay, individual freedom and equality for all before the law. Clear? So liberalism is nothing but it's an ideology. As per this ideology, all individuals are free. Okay, they are not in chains, all the individuals are free, and at the same time, all are equal before the law. So the term liberalism is taken from the Latin word. What is that? Liber. What is the meaning of the term liber? Free. That's what the meaning of the term is. Free. Liber means free. Okay. Clear? So, politically, it emphasizes the concept of government by consent. So, what do you mean by government by consent? That is democratic government. Clear or not? Okay. So, people, they are electing their own representatives. That representatives from the government. Clear or not? Okay. So people's consent is there. They are agreeing with the government. So consent is necessary. Okay. So politically it emphasizes the concept of government by consent. Underline. Since the French Revolution, liberalism had stood for the end of aristocracy and clerical privileges. Okay. At the time of French Revolution, we can say that the ideology of liberalism stood against the privileges that enjoyed by the clergy and nobility. Okay, so already we know, we studied last year, okay, in the French Revolution, right? The chapter French Revolution. What is that? What is that? The clergy and nobility, they enjoyed lots of privileges. Okay, clear or not? They enjoyed these privileges because they born in that particular group or the particular community. Clear or not? Understand? So what happened? This new middle class and the idea of freedom or liberalism, it is against such kind of privileges. It is against such kind of privileges. Okay, clear? Understand? So liberalism is against conservatism. Okay. Next one, a constitution and a representative government through parliament. Next one, they want a constitution. Okay, what is a constitution? What is a constitution?
A set of rules.
Set of rules and regulations, right? Right? That is the guideline for the government and for the people, right? The government want to function as per the constitution. The people want to act as per the constitution. So constitution is the guideline for the government and for the people, right? Just understand that. And the representative government through parliament. So the people, those who believe in the liberalism, they want a constitution for the country, and the government want to function in a representative method. Clear? Parliamentary representative system is necessary to make the government. That's what the idea of liberals. Clear? So you want to understand one thing, there are two groups of people are there. One is the, what is that? Conservatives. Conservatives. Basically, they are supporting the aristocrats. Aristocrats means the ruling class. Clear? Clear? The ruling class people basically related with the clergy and nobility. Clergy and nobility. So conservatives are the people, they support the rule of the king. And obviously we can say that they are supporting the clergy and nobility. Clergy and nobility. Okay, the conservatives from the clergy and nobility too. Okay. The same time, the liberals means they are from the third estate. They are the new middle class. They are the new middle class. They are rich. They are educated. They are rich and educated. And even they are able to educate other members in the same estate. Clear? The third estate. Clear or not? So, conservatism opposite liberalism. Clear or not? Clear or not? Just understand that. So, liberal, the people, those who believed in liberalism, they want what type of government? What type of government they want? People's own government. Democratic government, right? And at the same time, they want a constitution for the country. Clear? They want a democratic government. Okay. Democratic a parliament they need, representative elections they want, okay, representative governments, okay, through the consent of the people. Okay, next one, they want a constitution for the country. Constitution for the country. That is the ideology of liberals. Okay, now a constitution and a representative government through parliament. 19th century liberals also stressed on inviolability of the private property. Okay, so Napoleon Bonaparte already created, what is that? Right to property for everyone, right? You have money, you can purchase and own the property. So liberals also supported that. Yet, equality before the law did not necessarily stand for universal suffrage. Sorry, not equality, but equality. Okay. So they fought for all these things, all these benefits, okay, or all these changes. But there is no equality in the field of universal adult suffrage. What do you mean universal adult suffrage?
The person who's about the age of 18 can vote.
India. Okay, different countries, different age limits are there. Okay, so India, adult means those who complete the age of 18. Correct, Mr. Karthik. So the right to vote for the adults. Clear? Okay, irrespective of class, creed, sex. Okay, that's what a universal adult franchise. Clear or not? Okay, those who complete the adult age of 18 in India have the right to vote, right? Okay. But in Europe, basically in France, they fought for a democratic government, they fought for a constitution, okay, they fought for end of the privileges, they fought for equality, but they don't like to give the right to vote for a woman. Understand? They want changes. Okay, they want changes. But but there is no right to vote for whom? Women. So we are going to discuss that. Okay, yet equality before the law did not necessarily stand for universal suffrage. You will recall that in revolutionary France, which marked the first political experiment in liberal democracy, the right to vote and to get elected was granted exclusively to property owning men. Underline that. So, who can participate in the elections as a candidate and who have the right to vote? Only the property owning men. Property owning men. Right? Clear? Underline that. The right to vote and get elected was granted exclusively to property owning men, not for others. Only for the men or males, those who own property. Okay, others, there is no chance to participate in the election or cast their vote. Men without property and all women were excluded from political rights. Underline. Men without property and women. For them, there is no political right. What is the political right? Right to vote is the political right here. So there is no right for them. Underline that. Only for the brief period under the Jacobins did all adult males enjoy suffrage. Okay. So, Jacobin period, we know that. The rule of Robespierre Maximilian, right? Remembering that?
Yes, sir.
Remembering that? Okay. At that period, all men they got the right to vote. Right to vote. Okay. So, however, the Napoleonic Code went back to limited suffrage and reduced women to a status of a minor. So, at the period of Napoleon Bonaparte, what happened? Again, he changed the system. As per Napoleon, what is that? Only who has the right to vote here? Under the Napoleon's rule, only the property men. Clear or not? Okay. And the women, their status is like a minor. They are not adults. They are minors. Okay. Subject to the authority of the fathers and husband. Okay. They are always connected with, or their life is connected with their fathers or a husband. There is no political right for them. There is no right to expression. Okay. For women in the Napoleon's France. Throughout the 19th and early 20th centuries, women and non-propertied men organized opposition movements demanding equal political rights. So what happened? The end of which century? 19th and the beginning of the 20th century, men without property and the women, they started number of agitations movement or number of movements to get right to vote, and basically they demanded equal political right. That means a right to vote, suffrage. Clear? So I can read it 2 minutes for you people. Just read these 2 paragraphs and tell me. When any doubt means just inform me. Fine. Okay. So that's related with the political sphere. The next one, in economic sphere, liberalism stood for freedom of markets and the abolition of state-imposed restriction on the movement of goods and capital. Okay, so let it be. The first 2 paragraphs, they're discussing about liberalism that connected with the politics in France, right? Okay, making of government, elections, privileges of the clergy and nobility. Okay, finally we came to a conclusion. What is that? Liberals, they stood for equality, but not stood for equality in the status of women, right? Okay. Clear or no? That related with the right to vote. Right to vote there. There is no suffrage or right to vote for non-propertied men and women. Only men with property, they are able to enjoy the political rights. Okay, a right to participate in election and a right to vote only for the propertied men. But at the time of Jacobins, okay, they give some rights for everyone. Basically, they provide political equality for everyone. But again, at the time of Napoleon Bonaparte, what happened? The status of women reduced to minors. Okay, always these women, they are under the patronage or under the control of their husbands and fathers Clear? Okay, that's what the conclusion. And we are here now. The liberals in economic sphere. Okay, what is that? Liberalism stood for freedom of markets without the restriction of the governments. Okay, so liberals, they demanded, okay, they need the freedom to sell the goods in the market without government intervention. Okay, without government control. That's what state imposed restrictions on movement of goods and capital. So the government wanted to stop interfering in the activities of the traders. During the 19th century, this was a strong demand of the emerging middle class. Let us take an example of the German-speaking regions in the first half of the 19th century. Napoleon's administrative measures had created out of countless small principalities a confederation of 39 states. Okay, now to understand about this economical liberty, we want to discuss about a special condition that was existed in Germany. Okay, there are 39 German states together made a confederation, a group. Okay, each of these possessed its own currency. So in that confederation, in that group of countries, there are 39 states. Clear? How many states are there in that group? 39 states. So that's what the German Confederation. Okay. A small areas, small regions. A merchant traveling in 1833 from Hamburg to Nuremberg, they are the two different principalities or two different small states in that group, in that confederation. Okay, if a person want to move from, okay, for example, this is the confederation, okay, of 39 different states. Clear? Okay, the road is like this, just imagine. Okay, I made a double line here. That is the road. This is just for example. Okay. A, it is B. Okay. So A is Hamburg. Okay. And B is Nuremberg. Okay. Clear? If a traveler starts his journey from Hamburg to Nuremberg, right? So all these squares indicates different principalities or different states. Different states, just understand. Clear? These squares are different states or different principalities. Okay, so if the person in 1833, a traveler or a trader, is starting his journey from Hamburg to Nuremberg, A to B, okay, to sell his goods would have had to pass 11 customs barriers. So you know custom barriers, right? In India, in state boundaries, customs barriers are there. We have to pay taxes there, right? Yes or no? Clear? Do you know that or not?
Yes, sir.
We want to pay taxes there. But after GST, that is reduced. That is another thing, right? Okay. So he want to cross 11 such kind of custom barriers. A person, he started his journey from Hamburg to Nuremberg, has to cover how many custom duties? 11 customs duties, customs barriers, and pay a custom duty about 5% at each one of them. Clear? Clear? Understanding or not? So he carrying goods worth rupees 100. In the first checkpoint, you have to pay rupees 5. Clear? Understanding or not? Okay. In the next checkpoint, okay, he goes to another state. Okay. Now his worth that reduced to example. Okay. Again 100 rupees things are there with him. Again he have to pay 5 rupees. So 11 barriers. So worth of his good is 100 and he want to pay 55 rupees as taxes. Is that profitable for him? Okay. He is not paying the thing from the goods. He paying by money, right or not? Okay, in terms of currencies. If he carried a currency or money with him, just imagine that like that. So if you want to cross these 11 barriers, you have to pay 55 rupees. 55 rupees, balance of 45. Okay, clear or not? So is that a profitable one? Not at all. Not at all. So it is not non-profitable for the traders. Okay. So 11 custom barriers, and they pay a custom duty of 5% of at each of them. Duties were often levied according to the weight and measures of the goods. Okay, so duties they had to pay related to the weight and the measurement of the goods what they are carrying with them. As each region had its own system of weights and measures, it involved time-consuming calculations. So each of these 39 states have different weights and measures. Okay, so it is difficult to calculate the real weight and the real measurement. Okay, the measure of cloth, for example, was ale, which in each region should for a different length. Okay, so an ale of textile material bought in Frankfurt would get you 54.7 centimeter of cloth. Okay, so Frankfurt, it's a region or a state in that confederation. In that region, one ale means 54.7 centimeters. Okay, in Menis, another state, there the length of one ale is 50.11 centimeter, 55.1 centimeter. In Nuremberg, it is 65.6 centimeter, right? And in Freiburg, it is 53.5 centimeters. These are the places of different states. Okay, so measurement is different. Measurement is different. Okay, clear or not? So it will take a time-consuming calculation. It is not good for the traders. Such conditions were viewed as an obstacle to economic exchange and growth by the new commercial classes. So these problems created a lot of troubles for the traders, those who are selling goods in different states. So the traders, they argued for basically the middle class people there, right?